Hi friends, today I'd like to introduce you to our cash freedom model. It is a replacement for the budgeting process, and what we find is that families struggle with budgeting and have friction over who is going to spend what, and this model actually creates family harmony and removes a lot of the friction from the process. Traditional budgeting sounds great until you live with it. One partner wants spreadsheets and the other wants simplicity, and nobody wants friction over every purchase. This cash freedom model kind of lowers the temperature and raises clarity. You always know what you can spend and still stay on track with saving and investing. It also steadies out the ride for irregular income. So if you have bonuses or distributions from your small business, the month-to-month swings don't run your life. This can work for couples, it can work for singles. It also works for people who are just starting out and the ultra high net worth family with a lot of financial complexity. At its core, this is a 2-account system, and each account has a job. The hub account is where money arrives and big picture items get handled, and the family checking account is where life happens. You may want to name it something different, but that's generally the idea. It creates some accountability and some freedom at the same time. You get one clean monthly signal, your allowance, and you stop negotiating every purchase. One perspective that may be helpful for people to have is that we believe that your lifestyle should not be driven by your income, but should be driven by your net worth instead. Your net worth is everything that you own minus everything that you owe. And if you have zero net worth, even if you have very high income, we really encourage you to slow down on spending and reduce your lifestyle until your net worth builds up so that you have a frame of support or a base of support for your spending. Most families live as if income pays the bills, which quietly ties lifestyle to your pay cycles, to bonuses and other things. We want to flip that. Lifestyle should be set by net worth, and your net worth via the hub pays the expenses. What that means is that all income lands in the hub and you fund investing, taxes, asset protection, and insurance, and some debt there first. And then the hub pays your household a fixed monthly allowance into your family checking account. Income can jump around, the allowance doesn't. And the result is a steadier life and fewer, we got a raise, so let's spend more money moments. Your lifestyle stays on a straight line and your net worth does the heavy lifting in the background. That way you get accountability and freedom at the same time. Here's how it works. One hub account and one checking account. In the hub account, all income, paychecks, bonuses, retirement distributions, business dividends, inheritance, they all land in the hub account. And from there, you take care of net worth and tax items like investing, taxes, including property tax, all of your insurance premiums, medical premiums and expenses, and in a lot of cases, college, private school, and 529 types of expenses. We also want HSA contributions and debt payments, at least the primary residence, the mortgage payment, but not consumer debt to come in and out of the hub. Those are mission critical decisions about protection and growth. They don't belong in the same account that buys your takeout on Friday night. On the first of the month, the hub sends a fixed allowance to your family checking account. And that allowance is the household spend number for the month. For somebody starting out, it might be $2,000 a month. For an ultra high net worth family, it might be $100,000 a month, but it's a fixed number. Family checking pays for groceries, gas, utilities, subscriptions, vacation, clothes, kids' activities, entertainment, anything that basically goes down in value when you buy it. If this account has money in it, live your life. If it's running low, that's your cue to ease up and explore either a higher allowance later on or stop spending. No spreadsheets required. Why do families like it? We hear 2 words from people who have embraced this method: freedom and control. Freedom because you're not micromanaging multiple categories. Control because your lifestyle allows a clean monthly rhythm that matches how bills actually show up. Business owners and anyone with uneven income especially appreciate how the hub account absorbs the variability that comes with the family business. Retired or working, the lifestyle flow feels the same. If you retire, your lifestyle doesn't change. When paychecks stop, the pattern doesn't have to. This model also reduces money meetings. Instead of debating whether an expense fits the budget, you look at one number. Families tell us the tone of money conversations change, fewer negotiations, and more calm. So how does a family move to this model? Here's a realistic timeline. This isn't a 30-minute flip. It really takes about 30 days to transition to get the plumbing right, and about 3 to 6 months for it to feel second nature as habits settle in. The first step is to redirect all income to the hub and link the hub and family checking so transfers are easy both ways. That's all income: Social Security, dividend payments, salary, bonuses, any other support that you are receiving from anyone goes into the hub account. Step 2 is to realign your auto pays. Auto pays are kind of the friction for this model because we're used to auto pays coming out of accounts, and it takes a little time to change that. Net worth and tax items get paid from the hub. Lifestyle bills stay in family checking. Rename the accounts in your banking app if that helps the brain switch to hub or family checking or your in account or your out account. Step 3 is run the first month. Watch the drain and refill pattern in family checking and adjust the allowance if you repeatedly run short or consistently finish with large leftovers. If you have a large leftover, it gets rolled into next month. If you are consistently short every month, it's a cue to either reduce your spending or change your overall plan and see if your net worth will support a higher allowance. So here are some frequently asked questions that we get when we teach this model. First off, how do credit cards fit into this model? Most people use credit cards not as a matter of convenience, but as a way to chase points, either frequent flyer miles or credit card points. And one thing we do want people to understand is that chasing points never made anyone wealthy. If the points are free, it's important to keep the perspective that if you're not paying for the product, you are the product. Points are fun, but they don't move the needle on improving a family's net worth. And so what we encourage people to do is explore keeping one credit card for clarity, a lifestyle card for groceries, dining, utilities, and subscriptions, and that card is paid from the family checking after the allowance lands every month. The second is a hub card for medical, insurance, tuition, and other hub items paid from the hub account. So another frequently asked question that we get is, what about large expenses that are coming up? I need to buy a car in the future, or I need to take a European vacation. And what we encourage people to do is to include the future expense in your monthly allowance and set aside that money in a separate savings account at your local bank. What that means is that once you go on your European vacation, when you come back and that credit card bill comes in, you have already saved for it, and it feels really good that you don't have to catch up when you get back. Another frequently asked question we get is, well, what if I want to spend money on something that I want to spend money on and my spouse doesn't really want me to? We have learned from our clients the concept of a mad money account for married couples. This is a great idea. Each person in the relationship has their own account that they can buy whatever they want, no questions asked. Let's go ahead and plan for that by setting aside a little money from family checking every month in the Mad Money account. This is one tip that has improved relationships from a money standpoint better than any other concept that we teach. So what about the hub balance? Many families treat the hub as a runway. Some hold 3 to 6 months of expenses here, so it becomes the emergency fund, and others more or less depending on comfort and upcoming needs. There isn't a single right number. The goal is visibility, and you can see if your runway is trending up or down, and you make adjustments without touching your lifestyle cadence. The next frequently asked question that we get is, why does debt, especially the mortgage on the primary residence, still get paid out of the hub account? Debt payoff, not consumer debt, is a net worth decision, not a grocery line decision. If someone decides to pay off their house, it really depends on their overall net worth and what the interest rate on that mortgage is. So if you have a 30-year mortgage at 3%, while we would want you to have your house paid off, we would also hesitate to tell you to pay off long-term debt. That is a net worth decision and should come out of your hub account. The hub pays it so that you can evaluate payoff speed based on interest rate, risk, and goals, without letting tonight's dinner ride on it. Keeping debt in the hub also prevents lifestyle spending from crowding out important reductions in risk when they make sense, and that may mean buying another insurance policy or actually not having an insurance policy and retaining risk. So here are some common friction points and some easy fixes. Does your allowance feel too tight? Explore a modest increase after evaluating how it impacts your overall plan. Is your hub account trending down too fast? Verify that lifestyle bills aren't sneaking into the hub account. Consider trimming a category or delaying a non-essential. Windfall, bonuses, refunds, liquidity events land in the hub account. The allowance stays flat and deployment gets planned thoughtfully. Inheritance can be different, and we cover that on our inheritance page. Why does this outperform budgeting for most people? You swap category policing for one clear monthly signal. Everyone sees the same picture. Saving and investing happen before lifestyle creep. Cash flow feels calmer even when income doesn't. That combination, accountability with room to live, tends to stick. The next frequently asked question we get is, don't I still have to budget? And the answer is yes. About once a year or whenever there's a significant life change like a new job, a raise, a baby, a move, retirement, a big debt change, spend an hour or so to revisit the allowance with fresh numbers. Adjust it, relabel any bills that drifted to the wrong account, and you're done. Spreadsheet lovers can get their fix during this annual tune-up and then close the file and go live their lives for the next 12 months while the cash freedom model does the day-to-day work. Remember, this is educational information only. It is not financial advice. Be sure to consider your full financial picture and consult appropriate professionals before acting. If you'd like to know more, check out the show notes below where there are plenty of resources to point you in the right direction. And as always, if you would like more information, feel free to reach out to us and we'll be glad to help. I'm Bryan Hancock.